Hello and welcome back to another video. Today's topic is about what I believe to be the main factors of learning. But before we start, I would like to perform something for you that I've learned recently. Enjoy. This is a very short cover of River Flows in You. I've actually learned the full song, which consists of a lot more parts. Try and make an estimate on how long it took me to learn this full song, even though it is still greatly flawed. One of the main factors of learning is time. The time required to learn something is important to think about because many people expect to learn things a lot faster than reality allows them to. And when it takes longer than expected, they get annoyed. Something skill-based like dancing or pottery can't be mastered overnight. You only get better at it the more you practice. In fact, Gladwell famously said that to be a master of anything, you have to put in 10,000 hours. And I would argue that the engineering course I took in college was hard mostly because we were required to learn a lot in a short amount of time. If you fall, you get back up and try again. You don't necessarily need to have motivation to be persistent. Some of the better students aren't geniuses and it's not like they love studying, they just simply persisted and did the extra revision and exercises. No magic or talent required. In a way, their superpower is the discipline to do something despite not having the motivation, no matter the cost. With the internet that has tons of educational content, anyone could master almost anything. But don't go spending your time confidently trying to be good at the lottery or something. However, for the most part, we have to know that if we try, we can succeed. I know it sounds cliche, but there's really little to no point in doing something that you yourself don't believe you can. So trust yourself and believe that if they can, you can do even better. There's actually no statistical proof that we could be categorized as a visual learner or an auditory learner. And aren't kinesthetic learners kind of a cheat? I mean, when you're doing, aren't you also seeing, hearing, smelling, touching? Basically getting more informational input to your brain. In fact, some crafts works well with certain styles, not the other way around. Like I would consider learning to ride a bicycle a kinesthetic thing and it's not something that you can learn just from watching. Or a map, which is easier to study visually. The more sources you can learn and expose yourself to better stimulate your mind, the better. If one explanation doesn't work, find a different definition, read out loud so they can hear it, or even look for a picture example. I would also consider failure as an exposure you could learn from. Use it as a kind of feedback to improve yourself. Some of us learn slower and less because we play it safe and learn within what we already know. Without exploring or experimenting the limits of your craft, you'll never get to know more about it. A good example is the ice skating hockey break. Upon finally learning to balance and move on the ice, you're then required to shift your center of mass so far off your comfort zone, it makes the hockey break one of the hardest skills to master as a beginner. And to truly master it, you need to explore the range of speeds and position which you could still pull it off. So dare to experiment, dare to take calculated risks, and also dare to do the wrong thing sometimes just to see what happens. While you watch a time-lapse of me practicing 3D modeling off YouTube, I would like to give you a quick summary of today's topic. First, we need to be ready to allocate our time in perfecting what we're trying to learn. We then need to be persistent enough not to give up and have the confidence that we will prevail at the end. Try your best to expose yourself to as many types of learning styles as possible. And lastly, dare to experiment. Don't let the fear of failing or the unknown hold you back. I would also like to say that I haven't been publishing for a while, partially because I was learning stuff like these 3D modelings. I also did some programming. I learned that new song at the intro. I had to recreate and mark a lot of exam papers, relearn some engineering courses. I got and recovered from COVID, had my wisdom tooth removed, and actually I did make part of a video that just wasn't aired because I didn't quite like the topic after thinking about it some more. But I'm glad that you haven't given up and you managed to catch this video. Hope to see you again soon. Bye bye.